Good evening, folks. I hope you're all buckled in, because this ride's about to get bumpy. Welcome to episode 111 of Malt Magic, the Forgotten Kingdom of Nine, as I just shoved my earphones back into my ears. Yes, for anybody that joined us last week, what an end to an episode, and we build from there. But before we get into that, let's go through our usual thank yous and our usual shout-outs. And there's been progress on one thing that I know everybody's been screaming about, so we will announce that tonight. But yes, our usual shout-outs and thank yous to things like Incarnate, Albo Rodeo, and Dungeon Alchemist for all things virtual tabletop mapping, whether that's encounter maps, dungeon maps, or full-on continent, kingdom, area maps, those sorts of things. I've been playing a lot with Dungeon Alchemist this week and the past couple of weeks as well. Not strict just for Mortal Magic, but just been playing around as well. Of course, a massive thank you to D&D Beyond for everything they do in terms of making my life a fuck ton easier, and also the players' lives a lot easier as well. And speaking of D&D Beyond, I made a bit of a boo last week by forgetting to announce at the end of the episode that the players were levelling up. So D&D Beyond has helped us through that, and yes, all the players leveled up as per last week, following the whole Deluin saga, or second Deluin saga, I should say. So yes, thank you D&D Beyond for making all that possible. A massive shout out to Hero Forge for all things or visuals when it comes to characters. If you've been paying attention to Instagram in the last half an hour, you will have seen a sneak preview of a token or character art, if you like, built on Hero Forge for a certain someone. So yes, thank you Hero Forge for all the visuals and the tools there, and then there's those DMs tools, if you like, that I use in the background. So Kassoon, 5e Magic Shop, 2 Minutes Tools, and the Thieves Guild. All the music you hear, or some of the music you hear, is courtesy of Tabletop Audio, so thank you for them. And of course, any sound effects you hear tonight will be courtesy of Battle Bards, whom we are affiliated with, and of whom we've pretty much been affiliated with from episode 1, I think, or very early on. And so yes, a huge shout out to Battle Bards. You can see the code on screen there if you want to go and use them in your own game, or if you're running your own streams or doing whatever. There's some great sound effects there that you can just use. If you've got things like Stream Decks or hotkeys, you can then just ping them on that. And yeah, so go use the code, get yourselves a nice cheeky discount, and there you go. You've got some sound effects. Of course, I've talked about the social media channels already, but please go check them out as well. Any updates will be posted through there. And that social media presence is about to grow, as Samau has been working very, very hard in the background, and the Discord server is ready to go, bar one thing, which is the integration with Twitch. So we're going to work on that this week, and as soon as that is done, we will get the link out to people. Hopefully it should integrate so that anybody who is a follower or subscriber should then get access to certain goodies and certain extra channels. But more on that as Samau and I get that integration done. But yes, generally the Discord server is ready to go. We just got that final step to do. So yes, hopefully that will appear very soon for folks. Obviously you can see all our social media links at the bottom there, so go check them out. I will probably do a silly TikTok in the next sort of week or so, just because we are approaching something climactic. And yes, I think the only other thing to say is to talk about the podcast, of course. And you can go and check out the YouTube channel as well. But my brain is running at 100 miles an hour tonight, hence I'm just forgetting things left, right, and centre. But yes, please go check out the podcast if you want to go check out any past episodes. I had a long trip to Wales and back this weekend, so the only thing I listened to was Malt Magic, because I'm that narcissistic. But yes, it was good to go revisit the first time we went to Deluin, actually, and the prophecy, so that was fun to listen to. So please go give that a check out. Go check the YouTube channel out as well if you want to watch some of those past encounters or find some of your favourite moments. One of the options, funnily enough, in the Discord channel is the ability to sort of share your favourite clips from the campaign so far. So as you all get involved in that, please feel free to do that. There's fan art channels, there's all sorts of things for you to get involved. So yes, and of course from last week, I did make the shout out that on October the 26th, on the Place Bedford's YouTube channel, the Malt Magic one-shot from the 25-hour game stream will go live, which means you may finally understand who the characters were that appeared last week, as we give a small insight into that. And that's it. We can get on with this now. We can all go have a massive stress fest. I shouldn't have put a hoodie on tonight. I probably should have put a towel around my neck, to be honest. It's going to be that sort of episode. So yes, with that all said, strap in, settle down, get yourself a drink, get yourself some snacks. It's going to be a wild one. Let's roll.
Hey! Oh, Samau. You've mugged Samau.
Samau is here. I promise he's here.
Nah,
promise he's here.
Really? I don't know.
He's got
Maybe
his haircut as well.
There he is.
There he is. I was going to say, he's made an absolute marathon sprint home tonight.
I really hope that what we said during the intro song was actually being streamed, because that would be very funny.
Yeah, did everyone hear Dave talking about strap-ons, by the way? If he did.
I mean, I hope that I have an understanding of how I made this to mean that we could have had that chat and no one else heard it, but chat will tell us if that happened or not.
I think you were supposed to say strap in, but you went strap on.
No, I meant to say strap on because I was expecting Matt to say strap on instead of strap in.
Yes, I've clipped it already.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Oh,
cool. So the one thing I did forget to say, and I suppose it's a bit too late now, is that there will be adult language and adult humour. So you have been warned. Whoops.
Well, yeah, if you don't know that.
But yeah, with that being said, let's go down the lineup. So I am Matt. I'm the Dungeon Master. I am also playing the psychic character of Bothrid, and I get to play a very interesting character in the next few weeks as well, which is going to be awesome. I'm excited. Yeah.
I'm equally excited / sweating through my pants to play Ander, King of Esamir, and hopefully we'll still be playing King Ander of Esamir in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 hours, who knows.
Yeah, bring it back.
Yep. Timeline just gets smaller and smaller. Hello, I am Simone, and I'm playing Kirik Gravetusk, the cleric fighter who just going to spend a lot of time doing bullshit, basically. See what happens.
Doing
throw
bullshit.
Stuff on a wall, throw stuff on a wall, see what fits. See what sticks.
I'm Dave. I play Dargon the Goliath fighter warlock, and I wish I was wearing the kilt that Dargon is, because it's sweaty time now.
Oh, but imagine the stain you'd leave on your chair if you were wearing a kilt.
Oh, it'd definitely be my chair and my chair only, wouldn't it? You know.
That's the way to claim it.
Pebbler'd still go sit on it.
Claimed.
Yeah.
Amazing. So yes, last week. Carry on, Dave.
No, sorry.
No, just no. So yes, last week. One hell of a sequence last week.
You're welcome.
Dealt with the visitors to Deluin, these sort of 5 strange individuals, and of course your 3 allies. 4 strange allies. 4 strange individuals and your 3 allies. Sorry. Words, numbers, not good. So one of which was remarkably similar in at least appearance to Vraco, and then a number of assorted different characters. There was a goblin, a tiefling, the dragonborn, of course, and the gnome wizard with very pristine robes. But of course, there was Johannes, Thalania, and Mephisto as well. And Johannes had suffered some form of serious injury during his time in the Black City, and was able to sort of regale you with some details around the Black City and talk about what happened. And then you started to make plans around what to do next. And the idea came about to try and draw Asmodeus out of his hole, basically, and draw him out so you're not fighting him on his home turf, but arguably on yours. So Ander decided to try and con a god. And supposedly succeeded. I'm not going to say anything more about that
Do
sequence.
not take that away from me. I
I'm
nailed
not going to
it.
say anything else about that sequence. You need to go and watch it if you've not seen it already, is my only bit of advice. Because it was fantastic. There was some awesome bits of RP. And I think generally there's some awesome bits of RP across the last few weeks. Our highest roll of the campaign as well, absolutely. And so the conclusion of that conversation was that in 3 days' time you were to meet Asmodeus outside of Telma to give your souls away, sign your souls over, seal the pact, and free Nihilin from Asmodeus' grasp. That all being a so-called ruse. There's a plan in place, or 5% of a plan, so we don't do copyright. So yes, you had then sort of dealt with the ramifications of that 3 days, got people to sort of shift their shit and move quite quickly, get ready to leave Deluin to start heading north, sort of west and then north from Deluin towards the Black City across the Arcane Wastes. But you, along with Kirik and Deimos and a few others, I say along with Kirik, along with Bothrid and Deimos and a few others, all then bamfed back to the Temple of the Raven Queen in Esamir, where you saw Nathim snoozing on a chair and Theogodin sat cross-legged on the floor with a book. And that's where we left it. So we start tonight in that very moment. We did have a dream sequence, of course. Sort of did a weird timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly thing with Kirik. But yes, we start tonight in the Temple of Esamir as you all feel that cold chill sort of settle over you, being in this temple and being close to that pool, which Kirik has many a time stepped into and pretty much turned to ice. Theogodin just sort of sits and looks up from his book. Oh, well, that's one way of getting inside, I guess.
I didn't know you could read.
Right. Anyway, you all look rather, stressed, tired. I take it was eventful.
Nah, it's boring.
Yeah.
Everything being calm here.
I'm assuming this is Theo
I
talking,
haven't
isn't it? It's
seen
not
the
Nathan, is it?
outside of the... It's Theogodin talking to you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the outside of these... Well, not quite 4 walls, more than 4, but I've not seen the outside of this temple. And the only person to speak to has been this individual, who, as you can see, is an absolute effervescing vial of conversation.
Oh, you're not exactly an approachable person, if we're honest. You've lost a lot of your charm, if I want to tell the truth.
And time pressing issues.
Yeah, okay. Your services are required. It's game time.
Oh, finally. Closes the book and then throws it at Nathim, who, as it hits Nathim, the chair where he was leaning is just going to fall over backwards and... Ow! Dickhead. Oh, you're back.
Well, yeah, watch your mouth. You're in a holy place.
I doubt she's going to mind me calling this idiot a dickhead, to be honest. Right, you all look like you're in a hurry.
Yep.
Pretty much.
We need him, and we need you to help hold the fort here.
Okay.
Yeah, we will also need you soon.
Do I still have a sending stone?
Don't want to match
Very,
this
very
one.
refreshing.
I'll raise mine one.
Oh, yes, of course I do.
Was there?
Yes. Takes it out of his pocket.
Good.
I mean, you could have radioed ahead. Radioed ahead? Called ahead.
You were asleep anyway.
Yeah, time's pressing.
Why?
I'll look
We've
at
set a plan in motion to win the war.
I feel like there's a lot of pieces missing.
There's a
Fill
lot
me
of
in on the way,
context,
wherever we're
but,
going.
but yeah,
There's
Okay.
there's not a lot that we can. Yeah, there's not a lot we can say without risking.
yeah. We can't have too many ears.
Okay,
Yeah, in the plan.
is it better to speak here or back in the royal chambers?
I suppose all you need to know is Deluin and Riversend's combined forces are going to march from the south to the Black City to attack. We will provide a window of opportunity for that, but we just need all
What
of
the
Vesemir's
fuck
forces.
am I doing staying here?
Yep, so we need to gather the forces and get everyone to Esamir. No, to
Vesemir? What do you
Deluin.
mean
We're in
Deluin?
Esamir. I definitely mean
We are.
Deluin.
Right, I can help with that, and then I am not sitting out on that fight.
You're definitely leading. You'll definitely lead them.
I've definitely told you. We've missed out the most important thing. Thailania is safe. She's waiting for you in Deluin. I should have led with that. Sorry.
And he does bow his head for a minute, and for anybody that would be paying close attention, you would see him literally muttering a silent prayer. And then he's just going to lift his head, and his eyes are slightly glistening. Get me to Deluin.
Deimos?
Well, don't you think we should probably get some other fuckers down there as well?
Yeah, if you can gather the wizards from Idril to send everyone en masse, that would be most helpful.
I'll ring the alarm bell, shall I?
Do we have an alarm bell?
Deimos just sprints out and sort of opens the doors, or goes to open the doors and then realises, small problem, gents. You locked them from the fucking outside.
Ah,
And maybe you can knock.
yeah, I can do that. I will cast knock. Just before I do that, you have checked it's a pull door, not a push door, right? Just before I've made that mistake before. Before casting
And then he
the
gets
spell.
knock, and he just
we've
pushes
all
the
made
doors
that
open. Right, off to ring the alarm bells. I'll see you at the keep, I guess. And Deimos just sprints off. I do hope you're going to be
Knock is
more
pretty loud,
forthcoming
so that's
with
probably
some
started a few
details.
people into action.
It has started a few people. You can see people popping their heads open, as Theo says, sort of, I hope you're going to be a bit more forthcoming with details if you need me.
With you, we will. No,
Yeah, we're going to meet Asmodeus, so you will serve your purpose.
Oh shit, into death I go then, I guess. Very well.
Yeah.
I like to think that was a
Yeah.
Kirit clap. I want to
No, it
believe that was a Kirit clap.
Yeah, that's
The
magic.
mask
So
slipped there for a
The
minute.
campaign. Yeah.
Nathan, I think you next to Thailania at the front of some of the battalions will mean quite possibly the difference between winning the war and not. Are you up for it?
Well, I'll be leading a battalion. I might just be borrowing a few folks from her.
I like it.
Oh,
All of it.
Hammering of the Dead. I'm for it. I'm all for it. Whatever it takes.
Well, we'll do what we can.
How does
But
Kirik feel
Ilani
about
will
that?
More.
You alright with that?
We'll get rid of them after.
Oh, don't worry. They are. If they don't die in the battle, I'll be putting them down myself.
Good.
Just so is it like
Borrowing them
you
from
both
her.
worship the Raven Queen, but is it kind of like Kirik is Amish and Johannes is like Church of England or Methodist? Like in terms of you both do the same thing but very differently.
Yeah,
I'm asking out of game
follow the
here.
Raven Queen.
Do you mean Nathan?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's Nathan.
Is that like
So
you both-
Nathan is a necromancer of the Raven Queen. So anything he does in terms of raising dead is only
Temporary.
in sort of yeah, it's only ever temporary, and it's also only to serve her purpose.
It's a very cool way
So
of
he
being a
just
necromancer.
borrows.
Yeah.
Borrows the odd soul
Yeah.
and then throws them straight back in the pit.
He has an overdraft with the Raven Queen.
It's
Yeah.
an overdraft.
It's kind of like a payday loan,
Good
isn't
credit
it?
account, yeah. Cool. Hello, Stick. Welcome to the Madhouse.
Hello.
Cool. So you've landed. Nathan sort of just turns and says, "Right, well, I better grab my stuff and anybody else who wants to go fight, I guess." Good luck, I guess. I doubt I'm going to see you before you leave.
I'll walk up to Nathan, pass my hand out to him. Right. You know we'd tell you more if we could, but we still want you here.
Listen, brother. We've been at this a while. I'll do my part, and I'll see you on the other side, one way or another.
Yeah. Never played so many mind games in my life. Just like hitting.
Maybe just focus on that and not the mind games.
Oh yeah, I am.
Leave that to him, and he points at Ander.
That's exactly how he waves.
It's my royal wave.
Oh man alive. Absolutely.
So
Thank
can
you
I
for the gift subscription.
Thank you.
whoop, whoop. Can I leave you two to make some preparations? I have to make a personal call before I submit myself to certain death. And then
You
I'll go find my Mirabelle. I was going to say wife, but I haven't married her yet.
I feel it landed better with my pause Mirabelle there. That had more dramatic effect.
Yeah.
But yes, you wander off, and I say you wander off. You make a very bold and determined line towards the keep. And as you approach the keep, that same bard is sat outside. And he's just sort of sat there, and you can see he's just sort of playing with the lute for a minute, and then he sees you approaching and fucking throws the lute all over the place and finds some sort of horn and
As good as last
I
time.
told you, stick to what you know. Play the instrument you want to play. Unless you know saxophone, because I'd love to entrance to Careless Whisper. That'd be a dream. But if you don't know it, it's an old bardic tune from where I'm from.
Okay, I'm going to work out a song on the lute, and we need to find some way of amplifying it. But okay, no more trumpet. And he's literally going to
I feel
bend
like next
the
time I
trumpet
come, he's going to
fucking
mash
muppets anyway.
master of puppets or something. Isn't he?
Like Brian May with a guitar standing on the back of a foot, you know.
On top of a horse and carriage.
Yeah.
But even then, the keep door opens, and Annabelle is there, just sort of, what in the world was that?
My entrance music.
Oh, Ander, you're back. Yes, we'll work on that.
Sorry for the not for the niceties, but where's your sister? I'm gonna have to make a personal call before I leave again. Kirikin, Bothrid, and Dargon will fill you in.
Okay, and she looks around. She sees them sort of coming along behind you. But, I think she's. Well, I actually think she's in the throne room at the war table.
Okay, we can walk and talk. I can fill you in a little bit on the way.
It's fine. I'll leave you to. You want to go see my sister, of course. I can appreciate that. I will speak to Kirik and Dargon when they arrive. And she's just going to hang around. And you see Remley is just sort of... Yeah, cool. So cool. No worries. Of course. Remley at this point is sort of running along with his little legs, like, I'm coming. I'm coming. Aye. Well. Yes. Must work on me speed, I guess. My Scottish accent goes to total rat shit. Anyway, you in a rush? As Ander just disappears past. Yep. And Remley's just going to look at Annabelle and be like, "Aye, no respect. You run straight into the throne room, and Mirabelle is there, just sort of leant over on the table, looking at parts of the map, and you can see there's clearly been some updates from somewhere. As some of the figures have moved around, it looks like a load of pieces, and one that looks like a crowned elf has been removed from the board, so to speak, and just placed to the side. And there is almost like a flag placed where Deluan was now. As you approach her, what are you doing?
I'll sort of just enter the room and just do one of those loud lovies.
And she'll stand and turn, and in your head she goes, "You know there's better ways of announcing yourself than coughing to your future queen, yes?"
Yeah, I'm not used to romance. Well, proper romance, heartfelt romance. I've also spent the last few days with these brutes. I've got to reacclimatise to relationship motions, as opposed to sweaty Dargon.
Perhaps this will help. And she's just going to sort of saunter over to you, go up on the tiptoes, and just kisses you, full on the mouth, wraps her hands around you, and then pulls you in for a very, very tight hug. It's good to see you.
I had a dream about you while I was away.
Oh?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I thought it was going that way too. Turned out to be Asmodeus invading my brain. So it did not have the happy ending I was hoping for.
Maybe we can change that in time.
I'm checking my sundial to see if we've got time now. Hang on.
In a hurry?
Well, to be fair, it won't take me long.
Oh, don't make a girl a promise.
Yeah.
Because you will be disappointed. Well, we are on urgent business. We've come to gather the troops. We attack the Black City.
For?
In 2 days.
What? 2 days?
But
wow.
The Wardens need to go to Telma to prepare. As the forces move from the south, we are going to go from the north to provide a window of opportunity for our forces. So everyone is hurrying around in the background trying to get our forces, send them to Deluan. I'm gathering on the wizards, so I'll need you and Annabelle to keep a skeleton crew here to just in case. Keep Esamir up and running and progressing, rebuilding.
I feel like there's an insight check coming on.
Make me
So obviously, as Queen Consort, you will have the run of the place between you and Annabelle. Making me a what?
Make a wisdom saving throw, please. As you notice,
technically, I'm kind of.
Coin.
It's one of them things where I'm telling the truth, kind of.
Yeah, you'll see what this
I'm
is in a
leaving
minute.
out the
She's
mortal
rolling a
danger
copper coin.
element. I rolled a
She's
two
rolling
anyway,
a
so.
copper coin around in her hands. You got a 2.
Oh, I've
you
still got all the
feel
advantages
her
from Kirik from last week. It doesn't matter, it won't
presence
save
in
for it.
your brain. I mean, I don't think it's going to get up to what you need anyway, but you feel that presence in your brain just dive in further, and you can feel, and sort of in your mind's eye, you can see as memories start to get shifted through. And then she takes a step back and just sits down on a chair and looks at you. Oh. Again, in your brain. It's that time.
I'm confident it'll work, but too many ears around. We have to keep it under wraps.
Come with me. And she's just going to grab you and lead you out of the war room to your bedroom.
Bow, chicka,
Oh, yeah?
pow, wow.
And then come with me.
Yes, Samal.
That definitely wasn't a Kirik statement.
I was just going to say, and you are
was
separating
Well,
yourself from
100%.
Kirik there so much.
I mean, Amber's been on the
that's
road
going
for a very
on.
long time. It'll take longer to take his armour off than it will to do the deed.
While that's going on, Annabelle's going to see you coming in. The wrong choice of words. See you approaching. And Remley stood next to her, and she's just going to go, so is somebody going to explain to me what the hell's going on?
Annabelle, Remley, good to see you again.
Aye. Doggone.
Yeah, we are in a bit of a rush. It's probably good if you can kindly go and collect all of the leaders of all the different people, and we will meet them all here. We have a very short turnaround. We have a unforeseen window that will mean that we are able to well, we'll explain further, but we can attack the city in two days' time. So get everyone here quick.
2 days.
Yeah, nothing like a short time frame. Make sure that everyone, is on it and nothing is wasted. So, you don't mind.
Here, Bard. Go and fetch the fucking leaders. The
That will
Bard's
do.
just there like, me? Okay. And he just sort of runs off. About time we made him fucking useful.
Remley, you got any beer?
Have I got beer? Finest dwarven ale this side of Shiverspire.
Any alcohol?
I'm just trying to think. There's nothing the other side of Shiverspine. Yeah. Shot to bits. Absolutely fucked.
shot a bit.
Your
Fucking love it.
favourite quote. King Ander of Esamir.
How
shot
did
to
Ander
bits.
die? Shot to bits. Fucking ruined.
That's what I say on my gravestone. That's my obituary right there.
Yeah, but also underneath that it will say, happiest way he could have ever have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely ruined.
Cool. So Remley's just there like, "Aye, I'll go grab a hog's head then," and disappears in. And Annabelle's going to stand there and go, "I'm still waiting for an explanation. 2-day window for attacking the Black City. Okay, how? Why?"
Well, we're not near the front doors now. Have we walked in?
I'd say you're inside the front doors. There's nobody around either.
Well, it's the end of all of this. We're going to try and kill Asmodeus.
In 2 days' time. Fine. Yes, let's go. Remley, hurry up. And she's just going to sort of wander in with you at a hurried pace. And you can see in her hand she's got sort of like a scroll and a quill, which she just turns around and sort of goes, "Oh, yeah. Oh look, a bot."
Annabelle says, "Oh, look, a bot,"
Anyway.
and finds this little like rumba
No.
going along the little floor, just hoovering up.
Yes, sorry, a bot
we get
popped
an
up in the
artificer?
Twitch chat there, and I thought we'd got rid of
I
those
didn't realise
fuckers,
we had
but
an
anyway.
artificer
Um,
in that ranks.
A warforged is just a Roomba. There's a character concept.
Amazing. Writing that down.
Have you watched Love, Death and Robots on Netflix?
Yeah.
Because there is a house robot that tries to kill. It's on there.
There is.
Another hobo
A great
rumba.
episode.
Is essentially what it is.
Anyway, we digress massively.
digress.
Annabelle just leads you in, sort of shouts at Remley to hurry, and then you sort of see Deimos come sprinting back in. Fucking hell, I ain't ran that fast since I was... Well, never. But wizards on it, getting people here, and then out the window. Or to Deluin, you know what I mean. Anyway, have you told her yet? Fucking hell. They were just about to, Deimos. Come on, join us. And you all get led to the war table, and she's looking around for Mirabelle and Ander, and then she sort of sits there and then, I think we'll just carry on without anybody else for now, shall we? So, right, we had the update that Deluin had fallen, and, well, we'd claimed it, so that's been appropriately updated. You're now telling me that all of our forces are going to march from Deluin to the Black City in 2 days' time. Or in 3 days' time, sorry. 2 days, 3 days, what did you say?
Correct.
We've been saying 2, but we definitely mean 3, don't we? Because we've only just got here and we had 3 days, and then we came here straight away. So yeah, it is.
Yeah, sorry, we were saying 3 because we need to. The Wardens need to prep something in Telma first. We all need to leave in 2. You need to attack in 3. But of course, it still means the same thing. You've got a very little turnaround time to make sure that you are all down in Deluin. Hence the confusion. We are also quite tired. Anyway, you are quite right. Deluin is under our control, on our side. Bell, one of the lackeys of the Lord Asmodeus, has been dispatched. However, it came at losses to us, not mortal, but we are down a few tricks up our sleeve, almost literally. However, we are attempting a stupid plan that we want to make sure that you guys are all making sure that the Black City falls. So we are sending everything at it, and we will be joining you from the other side of the city as a little bit of a pincer movement. Kirik, anything to add?
So you're going to go on your own through she looks at the map.
Yes,
we're pass.
We're a bit of a beacon, and we want to make sure that we have a bit of a surprise, and so we don't necessarily feel that our forces are big enough to actually split and make a mean effort of it. So I would like it to be that you all come from the south, we will come from the north. We do have a plan.
Make me a deception check, please.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when Matt rolls dice in the background, something's happening.
11.
Ooh.
You're leaving something out, Dargon.
I am.
In fact, bear with me, because I've just realised that's the wrong sister I was looking at.
Yeah.
Too many bells.
Sorry.
It doesn't...
The one with the big shiny helmet, Dagon.
Fucking loaded.
I'm probably holding it there near as well. After all, take your helmet off every time you go into rooms.
But if you're holding it, is it still like?
Probably still the rest of it.
I mean, yeah, everybody's kind of got used to the fact that Dargon is just a fucking walking beacon at this point. There we go. Okay, yes, the roll didn't matter. It was the same anyway.
Performing cataract surgery,
she is still
everybody walks
standing.
past.
We're leaving something out, Dargon. And I'm only going to assume as to why. But I will not delve any further. You
Kirik,
told us whatever we need to be.
Are we safe here? Has anything followed us back?
I cast see invisibility and I have a look.
Okay. again, as you cast see invisibility, it's weird because you get that almost peek behind the curtain or peek behind the veil, and there are spectral figures that every now and again just blink in and out of existence. And you kind of see this throne room as it once was as well, but you don't see any invisible people, any sensors or scrying bubbles or anything like that.
I think we're safe.
As much as we know that there aren't immediate spies in the area, you will still understand why we are keeping a tight lip on our particular other information.
As I said, I'm not going to delve in anymore. I can only assume as to the reasons you need to be more deceptive than usual with your allies, and given the enemy we're facing, I think that makes perfect sense. So we will do what you have asked us to do. If you wish me to remain here and man this castle, then I will do so. But I can also fight if you need me to.
This is Annabelle speaking, isn't it?
This is Annabelle, yeah. Mirabelle is busy.
Yeah, she can't talk. Well, she didn't talk anyway. I was going to say she's got a mouthful.
Yeah.
Does she still moan using telepathy?
So I was thinking far too deep. I knew that was going to be in your brain. I knew that thought was coming out.
The dirtiest of talk. All in the head.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Anyway, you, well, understand I don't feel that I'm actually in a position to make that decision. So I think that you need to discuss that with the king. I would happily have you on the battlefield, but I realise that there are important things of keeping very powerful people in reserve, looking after what we have.
And I feel like I've taken up that role anyway, so regardless of what Ander says, I think I will at least remain here. I'll let Mirabelle make her own decision.
I know we haven't given much information here, so has anyone got any questions?
The fuck do you want me to do?
Hit things real fucking hard.
Do you not think it
Also,
privy to call on other allies?
yeah, if you have any, in fact, do you think you'd be able to either get a message or get yourself to Mantineer to be able to call on their forces, and would you also be able to call on your shiny friend?
I can reach out to Ginris in other ways, but Mantineer, if you need an envoy, absolutely. I'll go. Deimos, I trust you can send me.
Thank you, Rainbow. We'll see you down. Well, we won't see you down in Delewin, but we'll see you later.
Fucking hell, is there anyone I'm not fucking teleporting today? Jesus fucking H Christ. You shut up as well.
No one said
Does
anything.
Jesus exist in this pantheon?
Who knows?
He does now.
Alright, whatever. Take it for what it was.
He can do what he wants.
Deimos says he turns around and says, "You shut the fuck up."
He is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As he turns his head to the left and says, "And you shut the fuck up as well," that's empty space. And even Annabelle's just going to be there going, "He's a very troubled man." But Deimos is leading Remley out now, and as sort of Remley steps outside, because it's not too far away, you hear sort of a distant, and then Deimos comes sprinting back in about sort of five minutes later, while you've all been just sort of catching up on other things that have gone on. Now, you said you lost something, or you are not as you once were. Is that going to leave you more at risk?
I mean, yeah, to a degree, but I mean, to be honest, we are where we are. I tell you what, though, if anyone does have an impressive weapon that I may be able to take and yield, then I have a plan, part of a plan. So if anyone knows of one spare, I would. It doesn't have to be amazing. I just need something. That's an idea, anyway.
Annabelle's just going to point at Timiel's wrath. Is that not good enough?
Oh yeah. Like I said, got a plan. It's a bit weird. I do not want to be taking like an amazing thing, by the way. You guys need as much as you need. I'm just talking about something that looks fancy.
Right. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if we've got anything like that anymore.
Will this work? And I'll take out the longsword of sharpness that I have.
That will very much do. You sure you're not in need?
When was the last time you saw me swing a sword?
You have a point.
I'll pass it on to you. I'll take it off my inventory.
Keurig slowly getting rid of all his weapons.
Unless there's anything else that happens, I would say that I would RP the battle tactics of said battle to those in the room.
Okay, so you spend time talking about battle tactics and relaying the information about the Black City that you have, and in that time, then we will flip back over to Ander.
Whoa!
You and Mirabelle have finished.
Okay.
I haven't finished.
You're now
I'm
both
not.
just. You finished.
So if I'm going to have to RP
you
that
both
and get
just
it
sat.
out on stream.
You both just sat on the bed, and she's sort of. I mean, she's silent anyway, but even in your head, there is nothing, and she's just sort of sat staring down at the foot of the bed, with the covers up around her.
What if I insight this? Is she? She's not like ashamed, or is she just wallowing in
Maybe an
happiness?
insight check.
Oh god! I joked about disappointing her. Oh bloody hell! That's only a 9. I ain't got a clue.
It's not a difficult one to figure out. She is scared.
I always come back. You know this.
But you've never faced a god before.
But he's just one god. We've got at least 3 on our side.
You're still only mortal. You can't blame me for
I know.
worrying about what might happen.
Oh, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous myself, but I've got a Keurig. I'll always come back.
Well, at least I know he'll walk you where you need to go, I guess.
I don't think the Raven Queen would let us go into death without keeping the promise we've made to her.
There's only so many strings I think she can pull on and can control. As I said, you're fighting a god, not just any god, but one of the key betrayers.
He's about to know what it feels like to be betrayed himself.
You've always had confidence, Ander. I envy you for that. But you're right. And she's going to sort of settle herself a bit. And then she's just going to sort of rest her head on your chest. Promise me when you get back we can just spend a week doing nothing but this. Not that, but this.
Both. Yeah, well, when I get back, it's going to be a national holiday for like a week. There'll be a week-long celebration. Most of it will be celebrating here.
Well, you make a girl a promise.
And I'm a king who keeps his promises, so I'll give her a kiss.
Oh, as you're
back.
speaking that into her head, so she's okay to you. You've got work to do, and I am nothing more than a distraction right now.
To be honest, it was
back on, King.
It was the pep talk I needed. Well, I don't know if we could call that talking, but
well, get your armor on. They're outside and they're waiting for you.
I've not been listening to perverts as I'm putting my clothes back on.
And she sort of just throws the duvet off, if you like, and just walks quite nonchalantly in front of you. Whereas previously she's been quite reserved, now she's just all glory, goes and fetches her dress and pulls it back on, ties up where she needs to tie, sort of walks over to you to ask you to help tie the back up, and then just turns and helps you with your armor, make sure you get everything nicely secured on. And then she's just going to place a hand on your chest and a hand on your cheek. Don't lose.
I've never lost yet.
Come on. And she's just going to turn and sort of take your hand and lead you out. And as she does lead you out of the room, she sees everybody ahead, and she will blush slightly, but she's still going to hold her hand high, hold her head high, and you can see in her demeanour now there's a more regal manner about her. She holds herself in a higher esteem now, no longer the servant girl of the Malt Master's Keep, but the future Queen of Nyland.
Queen Consort. That's a good point, JK. Was there a guard outside the room? To be fair, though, he'd have only heard me because Annabelle's all in her head. That'd have been a weird one-way conversation he would have heard.
In which case, he's probably not heard anything he's not heard before when Ander has his sort of annual wanks. Well, not even annual wanks,
yeah.
But...
I've been, since me and Mirrell together, I've been abstaining from... I've been doing No Nut November. So, what happened in that room was like the South Park meme. Just
yeah. To be fair, though, there are 2 fewer guards right now to have one posted outside the room. You notice there's not actually that many guards inside this room either, or even around the castle. A lot of the forces went to Deluan already, or are busy elsewhere doing different things, whether it's creating arms and training, or doing whatever, or just protecting the city. There are fewer guards now, especially with the defenders of River's End gone.
And to be fair, you would funnel all your forces out, wouldn't you? Because this is protected by magical runes. So
Annabelle is going to look directly at you, Ander. And in your mind, you are going to hear her say, "You better make an honest woman out of her."
On my return, I will. I'll say it back in her head.
And that presence retreats, or at least you feel like it was a one-time thing for Annabelle, at least.
But then I'll say to her again,
right.
Look after her while I'm gone.
We've always looked after each other. But I cannot tell her not to enter into this fight that you have positioned us all for. I have taken on a role as your aide, the one that runs this household right now, and I will do so up until the point where your fate is decided. But she has lived in the shadows far too long, and if she wishes to go, that is entirely up to her. And Mirabelle will look to you, and in your brain, or in your mind again, you'll hear, "Would you let me go if I did?"
Could I stop you if you wanted to?
Yes.
You haven't tried to stop me in this ridiculous venture that I've been going on. As much as I didn't want to risk losing you, if you want to, you can.
And in everybody's mind now, Mirabelle speaks. As much as it would calm my mind to do something else, Nyland's going to need a ruler. And as the future queen, or I better be the future queen, and she looks side-eyed towards you and then smiles, I will do my duty here, alongside my sister.
And you'll get an obvious from under. Oh, thank God for that.
Cool.
Right.
Kirik, you said you had things you needed to do, and I appreciate you all need to get to wherever you need to go. I will coordinate with Mirabelle and Remley, and we'll get everyone we can. And I have just one more suggestion. In fact, I guess I have suggestions for all of you. I know you have your preparations, Kirik, but if you're going to speak to anyone, surely you need to speak to her. Dargon. Both of them? I don't know. And now might be the appropriate time to rekindle a relationship with the Fae.
Wise counsel.
You're quite right. I don't believe we need to leave until the morrow. So I think one last night here would be a wise. Make sure we have everything.
Mirabelle's going to look dead at Ander. Now you tell me, in the brain. Or in your mind.
He won his money's worth.
I'll see to you later. Annabelle's just going to turn and say, "Well, boys, you have your things to do. We can handle it here. As soon as Remley's ready, we'll bring him back." And I don't know how much we're going to see of each other now. So let me just say that it's been a genuine pleasure to work alongside you and take, well, the ragtag band of adventurers from various places at the behest of the Maltmasters all the way through to the heroes you are today.
She's speaking to all of us.
Just going to save Nyland.
She's going to look at all of you at this point.
This seems a long time ago that you woke Andrew and I up from arriving in Nylin quite violently.
Yes.
I believe I can speak for the rest of them. We're very grateful that you've been there, always.
You've been the
I
one
am
constant
now.
thing throughout our whole experience, I suppose. Both of you.
I am now, and I have always been, at your service, my lords, my king.
And
That's one in
we
the fields, isn't it?
are always at yours.
Oh, go get on with it, come on.
Do I know the the way to the tallest place, the tallest balcony or something in the building?
In this building?
In the city, maybe. As long as it's not another temple to some other god I'm not a warlock of.
There are no other temples as such in this city.
Yeah.
There are sort of small shrines, if you like, dotted here or there that have either cropped up or have been rebuilt, but the main temple in this city has and will always remain, as far as I'm aware, the temple to the Raven Queen. You are aware that there is a part of one of the walls that still stands that is one of the bastions, if you like, and it is pretty much intact, and you know at the top there is arguably one of the highest points of the city.
I'll turn to the other lot. To Ander, Kirik, Bothrid. You don't mind if I just have a wander for a bit, do you? I'm sure we've all got our own things to sort out.
Yeah. I have some communing to do myself.
I'll see you guys for a dinner. Sound good?
I will have a fitting meal prepared.
Hero's feast prepared, hopefully.
Well, you don't want that. You don't want that just yet. You got 3 fucking days, yeah.
No, that's true. That's true. Put it in a doggy bag for me to take with me.
Hero's feast in the doggy bag.
Does Hero Feast last longer in Tupperware? Discuss.
Yeah.
Standard 3 to 5 days, as long as you label it, and you keep it within temperatures.
Cool. So, Dargon, you exit the keep and head towards the bastion.
Yeah.
And Kirik, what are you two doing?
I need to commune with both of the Sealy courts, so I suppose I'll go to my bedroom to do that. Back to where I came from, I suppose. That'll be the
Then
most...
not be a more appropriate building in
Oh, yeah, I'll
city?
go to the Fae room, of course I will, yeah.
The Fae
Yeah, the
Embassy.
little Fae hut.
That's a subtle DM's hint for you.
Thank you, I
Beginning of
forgot
the Fae
about that.
Embassy. Kirik?
I'm going to go to the temple because I want to chat with Theo.
Oh, that's the point. Is Theo still in the temple, or does he come with us? Because nobody's addressed that,
No,
if
Theo's
it's the
with-
elephant in the room.
Theo's with you.
Okay.
They've all
I'm
just
assuming
kind
Nathan's
of...
told everybody.
You had told them that Theo had been brought back, but they've all just
Yeah,
kind
so-
of gone... whatever right now. And
That's
people
not
have
the
been
biggest
far
bit
too
of news, is it?
preoccupied with all the stuff you've been telling.
In that case, I can't remember. Did we open the door to the Black City Embassy, but not the portal, or do we not even went into the?
You've not
the
even
embassy?
been in there yet. No, you've been in the Fae Embassy. I don't even think you've been in the Celestial Embassy, actually.
It's true. I'm actually going to grab Theo, and I'm going to go to the throne room with him. In that case,
Okay, well, you're in the throne room.
then I'll wait for everyone to
But
leave.
if you want to be in there alone,
Yeah.
everybody else will filter out. Ander will disappear off. Annabelle is going to go. Nathan's already disappeared off to try and get himself to Deluin. Bothrid is going to sort of look at you and go, I'll go with Ander. Mortidi, the Fae. And he runs out, follows under. So, Kirik, as we're in the throne room, we'll start with you.
Cool. Yeah, after everyone leaves, I will turn to Theo and I'll say, how are you feeling?
It's quite, what's the word? Reassuring, I guess. Knowing one's fate. Makes for,
Well, our fates never change. It's just how we meet the end that does.
I would argue mine has been altered somewhat. Or at least
That's
postponed.
True. That's true.
I know where I'm going. I know what's going to become of me when I do finally slip beyond the ninth. But, yes, knowing that, and knowing there is no escape from that, makes for less room for existential crises, shall we say.
Yeah. I've been thinking about...
And you?
Well, I'm fine. I'm always fine. Been thinking a lot about something you said when you were first brought back. You mentioned how you don't have will, you simply obey. That got me thinking whether you believe that's true. And I think you do. I think you do believe that. And it's quite sad. So I am here to prove a point. I'm here to prove that he no longer has a say. And despite everything, despite of where you've come, where you're going, choice is still yours in the end. And I'm going to cast anti-magic field on myself for 60 feet, radius.
As this dark sort of shimmer effect just extends out, Theo Godden is going to look at you. And he's going to look at the field. Look back to you. And he will reach into his robes and pulls out a dagger that's got a blue hilt and a blue blade. She gave me this while you were gone. He will balance the point on his finger and then catch it. Spins it in his hand. And then he'll place it back into his robes. think you've proven your point, Kirik.
I'll drop the spell. And I'll say, the end might be the same. You might know where you're going. But now at least you know that you go on your choices. I'll turn around and leave.
Theogodin is going to stand there for a minute and he's going to look at the throne. And he'll just stare at it for a minute. He's going to sort of look at his hands, and his hand will go up to his face where, as you see him now, half of his face is sort of emaciated. And then he's going to turn and follow you out.
Cool.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish to do then? Are you heading to the temple now?
Kirik is actually not going to go to the temple.
Okay.
He's going to delay that conversation because he's not ready for that yet.
Okay. In which case, Theo is going to say, You have inspired me, Kirik. There is something I must do. If you will permit it.
Of course.
And he's just going to pull up the hood on his dark cloak and just begins walking off to the south. Dargon, we're going to come to you next.
Right as I'm eating.
Yeah, I know. I looked up and thought, who's going to be the most awkward to come to right now? Cool. So you are climbing the stairs of this bastion.
Yeah.
Having sort of had to shoulder the door down a little bit, but you find the relatively intact wooden stairs. They're a little bit ropey at times, having been underwater for so long. Excuse me. But slowly but surely you manage to get yourself to the top. And you find yourself at the top of a parapet, I guess. And you can look and you can see the city of Esamir before you that, although it's far from its glory days, is still a jewel within Nile itself. And then you can see from the parapet and the bastions, you look out towards the lock and beyond. You can see the subtle smoke that rises to the north from where Moonbright once was. The forests to sort of the east. And then you would turn and look across the city towards the edge of the lock in the direction of Telma. And what would you want to do in this moment? Took some very much poetic license with your character there. I apologise.
Not at all. I do look out, which is exactly what I was going to do, or what Dagon's going to do. And he looks out over the realm that, seems to have been, like, to a degree forced on them. But now, quite proud of where the realm has actually brought him. The changes in him since the start. And so he looks out and just is quite grateful. But has a determination in his mind. He also has something else that he knows that he wants to do. So he will summon Azazel onto his shoulder. He will then pick up Azazel onto his hand, so they are perched on his hand, so he can have a look at Azazel. Oh, Hazel, old friend. You've been quite amazing recently. Very helpful. Thought it'd be nice to see this view. It'd be my wish to set you free from this old codger. Where I'm going soon, I don't see it befitting to drag you. So I don't know whether in setting you free I will let you roam here, or whether you head back to the Celestial Plane, but be lovely for you to be where you want to be. And I'm ever so grateful for everything you've done for me.
The owl is going to sit there and the eyes are just going to blink at you. And the head's going to sort of swivel round and swivel back to you. And then in your mind you're going to get flashes of memories. Of flight. Of sight. And of fight. Of all the things you and Azazel have done together. And then you can't quite see anything. It's difficult to describe, but as Azazel almost glows a little bit, the grey feathers turn almost slightly gold. There is a distinct feeling of gratitude. And Azazel will just sort of nibble at your thumb slightly affectionately. She then looks at you, waiting.
I will therefore summon the weird powers that Dargon doesn't really hold, but he wields, and he lets Azazel go.
Azazel's form shines gold, and she launches herself from your arm up. Just begins to circle the city in that golden form, and she continues to circle slowly, getting higher and higher, and eventually she swoops down past you and straight up. And as she goes up, there is a moment where there's just this flash. And even though the cloud has already parted over Esamir itself, there is a golden ray of sunlight that just shines down.
As that happens, and I see that flash, I want to be looking up and say, Tyrael, Palar, she's back with you. Thank you. You know what we plan. I know you've already given me strength. I look upon you now and hope that you provide me the strength that is needed for the next phase. I know you'll be with me. I'm grateful and will always fight for you and with you.
Timiel's wrath is going to flare even in the scabbard. You can see the golden light sort of just creeping out, matching that beam of sunlight, matching the radiance of your armour. And there's two voices, if you like, that speak as one. There's Timiel's voice, but there is another as well. You have come a long, long way in your journey, Dargon. I could not have chosen a finer companion for my blade. May she serve you well in this battle to come. Just do not forget the power behind it all.
I don't forget the power. I do ask one request. This sword, this amazing companion of battle, will presumably be very recognisable to Asmodeus. Can you grant me a way of hiding it from him until the sword is needed? Element of the surprise is what we want.
That golden light is going to shine down, that sort of radiant beam of sunlight, if you like, is going to shine down on you. And the sword itself is going to glow. And you see the hilt and the handle begin to curve. And a finger guard begin to appear. And the cross guard begins to elongate. And your sword becomes rapier-like.
Thank you. This will help greatly.
You will know the power when it strikes him.
I want that to be the first time he realises what I yield.
Silence.
I will look
That
down.
beam of light still shines on you. Okay. And as you walk down, that beam of light continues to shine on that bastion. Unbeknownst to you and everybody else, but as that light shines down, the stone where you were stood begins to shift in colour slightly, and a symbol of a radiant sun backed by two angelic wings forms.
As I'm walking back down, I will also place my hand on this armour, feel the power through it, and I will also say, I'm glad that you're also here with me. And if I'm to meet such a glorious end as any Goliath is worthy of, I look forward to meeting my family again.
There's no words this time, but more just a sense of warmth. I feel like the warmest of hugs around you. And it's almost like you can feel their arms around you and smell the perfume that your wife used to wear. Smell the incense of the temple.
Dargon smiles and keeps walking.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to say in that moment, before we go over to Danny then, so we're about an hour and a half in, let's take a short break. And then we'll come back to it. And we'll go from there. So thank you all for joining us so far. Thank you for all the subs and follows. But go get yourselves a drink. Stay strapped in. There's more to come. and we'll see you after the break. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. So, hope everybody managed to get themselves a drink and sit in nervousness, as the rest of us are, for what's about to come. But yes, thank you all for joining us. Again, thank you for all the subs and follows that have been going on this episode. That's amazing, and we are so appreciative of it. It's unbelievable. I believe that today, or around this time, marks our year of being affiliates as well, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's nuts. That's cool. So, just to round off that bit of yourself with, yourself, Darwin, with all the powers. As you are leaving the bastion and sort of walk down onto the cobblestoned pavements and areas of Esmir itself, you feel more of a connection to Timur's Wrath than you have ever done before. And what would you like to do?
Timur's Wrath. Now you are a disguise. Don't think you might be able to create a greater surprise for future battles by, not looking like you're by my side until I need you.
What did you have in mind, Dargon?
Is there any way of me being able to magically hide you and being able to call upon you whenever needed? With a blink, the mere thought of you.
Draw me, Dargon. There is a glow, and it's weird because you're used to seeing this very celestial looking longsword, and in its place you see a rather elegant but less impressive rapier. Think what you will, Doggo.
I will think. Disappear.
Timur's Wrath disappears.
And then
there is a small... It's almost like... I want to say embers of starlight, but sunlight that just sort of fall down to the ground, sort of this golden dust, if you like.
And then I'll bring my hand forwards like I'm holding a sword and think summon. And as I do...
As you do, there is this just golden light that shines from your hand, and there in your hand is Timur's Wrath, still in the rapier form.
This will give us the element of surprise. Glad to have you by my
Just
side.
make sure I get to take his head.
Oh yes. You and me. There. You'll feel his flesh. You'll feel it.
Very well, dog.
She goes.
Timur's Wrath disappears once again, and there's that golden sort of dust again that lands on the floor.
What I then do is, with the sword that I got from Kirik, is I will place that... Yeah, I'll place it on the same side where I have kept Timur's Wrath before, because I don't need to keep it there anymore, and I want it to look like it's natural that's where I'd have my sword.
Yep.
Between you, me and everyone watching, it's a brilliant decoy, I hope.
Do you place the long sword of sharpness, I think it was?
I believe so. I'll double check
side.
and add that in. Yeah.
So that's fine. You strap it to that side. Cool. So you then continue your way back onto the keep as we move over to Ander, who is shortly followed by Bothrid, who sort of catches up to you, and you make your way to the Fey Embassy. As you sort of approach the three embassies, if you like, the one that connects to whether it's the Black City or wherever it goes, that connection to evil, that connection to the Hells, still imposes a malevolent figure within Esmir itself. But you then see the Fey Embassy itself, the vines and the trees and the growths and bushes all around have taken on so much more vibrancy in the days and weeks that you've been here. And it looks just welcoming. There is something almost enticing about the place.
Okay. But the other embassy still looked the other two still look a little bit like in disrepair almost.
Well, I'm going to call it just the Dark Embassy for the sake of now. That darker embassy is just, it just exudes malevolence. The Celestial Embassy is there, door's still closed. You can see the gold inlay and filigree and sort of embossment that was once there, but it's far from what you imagine its nature was when it was new built or at the height of Esmir's power.
Okay. Be careful in here, Bothrid. I know they like to play tricks, so just keep your wits about you.
I was going to say the same to you, to be honest.
Hopefully we'll guide each other. I don't think...
Boy.
Hopefully I can talk to them from this side, because I don't know if I've got time to go through, and because I'm worried if I go through, I might get lost, lose track of time. So I'm hoping I can just connect to them from here.
Well, maybe that's our terms then. They have to meet us here.
Yeah, agree. Now go to the door.
Well, after
Head
you
on
knocking,
in.
And you
Thank you.
head on in. And whereas usually there's been a lot of elven or elvish presence around here, and the Eladrin of Phaliad have sort of been to and from, it's remarkably empty. And you see at the far end that tree with its portal. You can see the shimmer effect on it.
But I don't feel any effects when I go in, no? Not yet.
No.
Okay. So I will go closer to the portal and I will try and connect with the... Who should I go for first? I will go for the Dryad Spirit first.
Okay.
See if I can connect to her and ask her to bring the Sealy Court through, or the representative of the Sealy Court through. That's been planned so far.
So, as you reach out, what specifically are you asking this Dryad Spirit?
I would like to ask her, as my closest ally in the Fae, whether she could, on my behalf, ask them now to join our fight in line with the promises we've made to each other, or at least send a representative from the Sealy Court through to speak to me in Esmir.
Takes a moment. There's a whisper back. It's been a long time, Ander. A long time. I will see what I can do.
Thank you. Although it's been a long time, you know, you're never far from my thoughts.
I know. My friend. Cool. Anything else you wish to do while you're here?
What? And then I'm obviously going to reach out to me mate on the other side of the table. So I will reach out to the Queen's Darkness by invoking his name in my head, because I don't want to tell Bothwell his name. and said, "It's time to
Okay.
us to rekindle our friendship." Because I promised I'd give them both a voice at the table, so I might as well give them a sword at the battle as well.
As you merely think the name, there is a shuffle from the corner. You really think I would have just left you here without keeping an eye on you? And that figure, dark skin, dark hair down to their arse, black leather boots, black trousers, but as always a bare torso. Seems one side of us at least has the audacity to remain.
I always know you're not too far, but I thought you would. I thought you would have been on the other side, helping prepare the forces to join us in battle.
No.
If I intend to give you a seat at the table, do you intend to lend your forces to the fight?
I'm afraid that's not my decision, but perhaps I will go and ask the one you need.
So it's better
Give
when
me a
kings and
moment.
queens work together.
The darkness, the Queen's darkness, is going to walk up to that portal. And as they step up, you notice that the portal shifts to an equally magical view, but much, much darker, a lot more shadow. And he just steps through. And there are minutes and minutes and minutes of waiting, at which point Bothrid's just going to be there like, "All these for your, nothing if not punctual, eh?"
I think it's for dramatic effect, Boffred.
Yeah, kind of got that. Oof. This is going to be a big fight, isn't it?
I think you're going to relish in it.
Just, if I go too far, you know, make sure you pull me back.
I don't think we can go too far against what we're going to face, but of course, if I won't, Kirik will. You know that.
Okay. And as another minute or two passes, the portal itself changes from that darkness to that greenery, the scene of Phaliad itself, and a figure steps through in this pink dress. Very elven looking individual, this long flowing blonde hair and a tiara on her head, these green eyes, and it's a figure you recognise. And I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Straight off the bat, brilliant.
With advantage, of course, because of your gift.
Advantage against magical effects from fey creatures, which is, I don't know if that'll help me though, Matt, because I've got an 11.
11. In your time, you have grown to understand this individual. And as she steps through, looking as beautiful and enrapturing as ever, the Enchantress stands before you. Well, and it's been a while.
I thought I had a big nose to catch you up on. It seems we both wear crowns now.
I think I once told you I'd not been home in a while.
Yeah, but when people say that, it's usually because, you know, I don't know. I didn't expect you were running away from a royalty. Sorry, and I'll do a courteous sort of bow.
Don't worry about it too much. It's bizarre claiming my old title, I must admit. But Oberon has somewhat kept things going. I have never formally introduced myself to you, but I am Queen Titania of the Sealy Court.
And I reintroduced myself as King Ander of Nyland. Who would have thought?
Well met. I'm led to understand my cousin is on her way.
You mean the Unseelie Queen?
Yes.
Yeah. In full honesty, I've asked for help from everyone. Yeah. But I'd expect you to know that anyway.
Of course. I will take a seat on this side of the room. And
Is
she's just gonna
there
sit
going to be
and-
some animosity, or are you quite civil?
I suppose it depends on the request, and we will see when she arrives. But don't expect us to embrace as family, put it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
And in that moment, the portal is going to flash dark once more, and it's going to grow considerably colder in the room. And there's almost like this rush of wind that swirls around in front of you, and there, pale-skinned, raven-like hair, dark eyes, and that lace dress that just hugs her very thin, lithe figure. The Queen of Air and Darkness stands. Oh, cousin. Such an unexpected pleasure as always.
My queen, I hope you don't mind, but I've invited everyone to try and parlay.
I will
against the
speak
cause.
to you in a second, mortal. Titania, it's been some time. I did not think you had returned. Yes, well, you saw to that yourself, didn't you? But we are not here to discuss that. I will treat with Ander and what he has to offer, and we will say as little as we have to each other. Oh, very well, Titania. You were never much fun. Well, Ander, I see you. You have adorned a crown.
Yes, it appears I have elevated my station somewhat since we last met.
I assume mortals all like to throw various things on your heads and claim yourself kings and queens. It's beyond us, to be honest. Anyway, you have summoned me here.
And I really appreciate you both sparing the time to get down
Spare
to
the
brass tacks.
pleasantries.
Okay. I need your help. We're going into battle. I want you both with us in the battle. Because without winning this battle, I cannot keep my promises that I've made to both Sealy and the Unseelie. So for me
Do
to
you
keep my
remember
promises,
those
I need your help.
promises?
Of course. I'm a king
I'm
who
glad
keeps
to
his
see that
promises.
some mortals still remember the point in a promise. Mob, do shut up for just 5 minutes, will you? And look, we of the Sealy Court appreciate, and your Dryad friend has already expressed the need. We will help where we can. The Eladrin of Phaliad, of course, will attend to the battle that I'm led to believe is heading west of Nylin.
Yes,
And
all the
they will be
forces are going
guided
from
by the
Delywin.
Fae. Very well. We will march with speed from Phaliad, I guess.
It is much appreciated, as you know. I'm already in your debt.
Yes, well. You know my name. I know your name. There's power in that. And now you know her name. And you can see at the mention of Marb, the name, the Queen of Air and Darkness is seethed somewhat. You will pay for that, cousin. And Titania's just going to smile, but behind that smile is there's a cynicism. Oh well, a sinister nature behind it, not cynicism. And what would you have of the Unseelie Court, then, mortal king?
Any forces that you could lend to the battle for the march on the Black City?
Have I not given you enough?
Me personally, yes. More than enough. This is for Nylin. If he takes Nylin, what's next?
Do I...
Your domain. He won't stop.
No. No. I don't think so. What does this land have to offer me? Nothing. But I have given you a gift already, and that gift you will be able to call on. Darkness! And he appears, just sort of steps out of the shadow. Yes, my queen. If he calls on you, you will attend. And if he dies, you will return. If he lives, well, you may choose. I am done here. And the Queen of Air and Darkness is just going to turn and step through the portal.
That is more than I could have hoped for. Thank you, Queen Titania, for your grace. And I'll look to the Queen's Darkness. I won't say his... Well, Titania knows his name, so I'll see you soon.
I will be watching as always. Don't fuck it up, boy.
I don't intend to.
Titania will stand and she will sort of walk past the Queen's Darkness and sort of approach you. And she is just going to take your head in her hands and place a kiss on your forehead. A certain someone asked me to pass that on. She knows your heart is in other places now, but she wanted you to have it nonetheless.
She is always with me.
As we saw fit. Good luck, Handa.
My queen?
And she will bow and sort of bow her head, turn and step through the portal. And as you then go to look at the Queen's Darkness, he has disappeared into shadow once more.
Of course,
Bothrid's just going to be there. You can see Bothrid is just there, just sort of tongues lolled out. It's like, so pretty. Cool. Is there anything else you wish to do, Ander?
No, I want to go back to the gang and tell them that they will have Phaliad troops to add to the battlement.
So I will say you all now reconverge in the throne room, but it is just the 5. In fact, no, sorry, Ander, rolling back, because I forgot to certain someone. As you exit the Fae embassy, a hooded figure approaches you in a dark cloak. Trust your conversation went well, boy.
Better than expected. What are you doing here?
No. Take the hood down, and Theogodin is there with his emaciated face and that eye of piercing blue that's long destroyed. Well, I don't know, actually. Just wanted to make sure you'd made the right decision, I guess.
About what? Killing you?
No, just I have some experience with the Fae, of course. Points at this sort of Eladrin figure. Just, wanted to I suppose I just wanted to see.
Do I sense that he's trying to make an effort and trying to rekindle something?
Make me an insight check, please.
Ooh. 20. That's my best roll so far tonight.
As you've always found, reading Theogodin has always been something of an impossibility, even now.
Okay. I've certainly made...
You can tell by his voice that he seems conflicted in some way even. But you just can't get a read.
I think I've probably made promises I may regret, but in the spirit of the way I want to move forward with Nylin, I think they will be worthy sacrifices.
Yes, well, we've all made sacrifices in the name of promises, I guess. Oh well,
That's an understatement. Yes. I've got to relay. We've secured forces from Faeliad. More troops to the battle.
Very well. I will accompany you if it's not too much discomfort.
As long as I could stay on your good side. Gesturing to his gammy face.
And he will just sort of do an extravagant bow and step around to the other side so you can see the face. But as you do, you look into the face that is Theogodin. It is that face that you remember. And all the things that have gone in the past. Not just your upbringing, your escape, your encounters with him in Nylin before that day in the temple in the Feywild. That face that is the Theogodin you remember, and not the Theogodin, or not necessarily the Theogodin that you see before you now. All the emotions that go with that. And he will walk beside you, but then lifts his hood up. And you all now converge on the throne room. Unless there's any.
As we are walking, though, I will say before we get in front of everybody, I do hope when this is all over, you find peace and have redeemed yourself enough to be at rest.
Make me a perception check, please.
$24.
Even though the hood is up and it's enshrouds his face in shadow. You see the hint of a smile.
Everyone is redeemable. Maybe even you.
He just pulls the hood further over his head. And you walk up to the throne room.
Hashtag daddy issues.
Oh, and there's all grown up.
Yeah.
Is there an emotional intelligence score that I can add to my character? Because I think I've just gained one.
Well, we will see what that conversation in itself leads to, I guess. Cool. As you approach again, Ander and sort of, I'll say Dargon sort of meet you at this point as well. Bothrid has been following along. Kirik's not really gone far anyway. The bard stands there, and you can see he's got a quill out and some parchment, and he's there with his lute. So ding, 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 ding. I'm not ready yet. Will you stop? Just walking in. Sorry, my king. Yes. Sorry. The king's arrived. The king's arrived.
It's definitely better than the horn.
Well, I'm glad you. Maybe I'll write that into the lyrics. The king's arrived. The king's arrived. Do go in.
Thank you.
And you walk in, and it is just the five of you. It's quiet.
Were all your efforts successful?
Yeah. I thought it wasn't really worthwhile or fair to bring Azazel further into our plans. So I've released them back to where they came from. They've been very, very helpful, but I don't think we need eyes on moving forwards. And with your sword, Kirik, I point to it. Hope that it won't be as obvious what I'm walking into battle with. Don't think we really want to have Asmodeus see that sword until he needs to.
What happened to Timiel's Wrath?
Ah, she's beside me. I will summon Timiel's Wrath.
There is a blinding flash of golden light, and Timiel's Wrath appears in Dargon's hand. There is a moment where the rapier-like visage just shifts, and you can see Timiel's Wrath with the runes and the celestial runes that are on the blade just glowing. And then that visage, the illusion, reappears.
So, I think we have the element of surprise to a degree.
And we also have the forces of Phaliad, which I've been told are heading to Deluin as we speak.
Fantastic, Ander. Fantastic.
Turns out the Enchantress is the Queen of the Sealy Court. So,
What?
yeah. And her cousin, the Queen of the Sealy Court, I also met her. Although she did not give me forces to the fight, she did say that I can summon her sexy, shadowy friend whenever I want to fight alongside her, so I think he might be helpful on the journey that we're about to go on.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Will you be summoning him to us or to the battle? The other one.
No, he'll fight alongside us.
Oh. Well, the more the merrier at that point.
Because he's under strict instructions to stay with me as long as I'm alive. So hopefully that is a long time.
Just out of interest, Do we want Gindris and Remley to come help us?
I think if Remley is too close to us, will that give our game away? But Gindris swooping in from the skies is less obvious, maybe. I'm not sure.
Food for
What I
thought.
don't want to do is do anything that will give us away.
Yeah.
I think there's still a... We have to plan for the possibility of failure. So if we fail, well, I know us, we're not going to go down without a fight, so at least he'll be weakened.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else can finish
as
the
long
job
as
after.
if all forces go to the Black City, if we fail, at least they may give them a chance to succeed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe in a weakened state, the rest of them can finish him off. I like it, Kirik. Did you sort things out you wanted to before we go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Make me a perception
Technically-
check, Dargo.
While he's doing that, I'll say technically, if we fail, he gets what I promised him anyway. So in theory, he should hold up his end of the bargain and leave.
Yeah. I don't believe it.
No,
That's
that was for
well-
maybe an optimistic.
12. Theogodin shifts his robe slightly as Kirik says what he says.
And you, Theo? You ready to join us?
I will do as I am commanded.
Do you not still want a piece of him? Do you not?
Yeah, there's got to be a bit of you
There's got to be a little
that
bit.
wants this. Not because you have to, but because you want to. Come on.
It's strange. I hold no ill will towards Asmodeus. After all, it's my own hubris and greed, I guess, that led me to where I was. But at the same time, knowing what is to come, I would be lying if there was not a part of me. If I said there was not a part of me that doesn't wish to just repay the favour somewhat.
Good.
I'm certainly not beyond a petty revenge.
Yeah. Use whatever drives you.
Let's hope not too much petty revenge, or at least let's hope you got what you needed in some cases.
Friends and
I'll
family.
get that's a bit of an in-joke between us. I'll get that. I won't say that out loud, but I get where he's going with that.
And
Bothrid at this point will sit there and sort of chime up. Well, this is all nice and depressing and that. But, and we got more shit to do.
depressing, Bothrid. We're about to go and fight and kill a god. I couldn't feel stronger. How about you?
Bothrid's going to look down towards the whip. I'll give it a good fucking go.
And just think, Bufford, after we kill Asmodeus, just think of all of the crops that will need rebuilding in Nylin, the garden of Esamir that needs tending to, the fields of Iscalion that will need replenishing. Oh, you'll be living the dream.
If you don't give me a garden in this city, Andrew, I'll probably kill you myself.
Oh, watch.
Okay, loud and clear. Roger that.
And he smiles and just sort of punches in the arm, which hurts.
I'll try not to let it show, even though it's just my arm's just hanging limp at my side now.
Dead arm. Bothrid's there, like, ooh, Sorry.
You have to like
Sorry,
lean
just
over
gives
to
it a
scratch
bit
your
of a
butt just to try and
massage.
move your arm around like that. You're like flapping it around.
Cool. Is there anything else we are doing tonight then?
Not
Are we
really.
marching on, moving to Telma now?
Things
Are
happening
you
tonight.
moving to Telma now, or are you having a long rest first?
Probably a long rest here. Yeah.
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 You need to change your spells, Kirik. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Plan. The following day. Is that the day, Kirik? We need to get that we need to get Kirik to Telma to spend 24 hours doing stuff.
Yes.
Kirik needs to go to Telma essentially when he wakes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could.
Because there is a spell that it literally takes 24 hours to cast.
And essentially, as you finish casting that, we're probably expecting within an hour or two we're, meeting.
One, you've still got 3 days, right? So you sleep. You get to Telma. If Kirik spends a day casting a spell, that's 1 day gone. You've then got 2 days before Asmodeus turns up.
Haven't we just spent a day?
Well, we just spent a day though.
Just a
That I think that's what we're discussing, right?
Well, it gave us 3 days at sort of the end of the day, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
Well,
It's still the same day.
There or
Met him
thereabouts,
today.
but either way, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in my head, we met him today, and he said we've got 3 days, so I've counted this is the first day, unless he meant from tomorrow.
And that's where I'm at, to be honest. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, if that still works, then say unless there's anything else. But yeah,
We'll do a one-day montage to skip one of the days because I hadn't planned for that other extra day in my head.
Yeah.
And Stick's posting things in the chat like I haven't already thought about that one.
yeah, I thought about that as well. Don't worry, I put that in my head.
Oh, cheese stick.
I still have 8 points of exhaustion as well. So
It's usually Samal who sabotages us with rules.
So, I will say, for the sake of brevity, then you all finish your discussions and go to your rooms. Theogodden turns to you all and says, I will be in the temple. I will join you in the morning. And he just turns and walks out and disappears. And you all sleep for the night. And you go to your room and find Mirabelle sleeping. And as you sort of shuffle into bed next to her, she stirs and just shuffles back towards you, and just to be close.
Spoon. Yeah.
Spoon.
We should probably find the
And we sleep and we all have a long rest.
Just before that one, because I realised that Kirik would need to leave quickly in the morning. I would grab Kirik and Ander before he goes. When are we going to discuss any of our actual battle tactics? I know that it's probably all going to go to shit as soon as we meet, but plans, distances, how far away are we going to be? Are we going to be separate? Do we need to start by we all being together because you're making, you're conning us, or do we actually need to be in good battle standings? Because actually, you can say your bit, and we'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Oh no, don't do it."
Well, yeah, he thinks we're marching to Hellspawn Pass from the Black City, so he knows we'll be ready for battle. You just have to not act surprised. I think as soon as he arrives, we attack, right?
we'll need to get him close to us.
Yeah, as soon as he's within, well, my range is further away than your range, but as soon as he's within our range, I think the signal diagram is when you feel you're in range, draw your sword, and then I'll summon the Queen's Darkness, and it's game time.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to do? I mean, we've got... I rest and hit things. I can't do much else.
Slash into bits, I guess.
Oh yeah, only like bit by bit. You know, I want to take things for souvenirs.
Just prepare whatever you need to do to get yourself into the zone. Like I said, we've still got a couple of days yet.
Is it worth doing that powerful thing you do with Timiel's Wrath, Kirik? Even if you can just wallop him one with a release, or is that not worth it this time?
I think I might have something better.
Your baller. Right.
I take your early weapon and I raise you.
Yeah.
Welcome to 8 level spells.
I raise you, nuke.
Excellent, cool. So you all in that moment go your separate ways, and sleep does not come easily given the trepidation, I think, that there is there.
As long as I'm not having
Eventually
been visited in my dreams by a demon, we're alright.
Dreamless sleep, long rest, points of exhaustion removed. And in the morning you wake, and you all meet back in the throne room again before you go, and Mirabelle spends time just holding you, being with you, and then helps you almost ritually, just putting your armor on. And the last thing she puts on and helps you with is your crown, your circlet. She just sort of holds it and then raises it up and places it on your head, and then pulls your head towards her and kisses you on the forehead. Go and be a king.
While I'm gone, actually, you should get one of these made for you.
When we have the right materials. I expect you'll design it yourself.
Expensive tastes, I like it.
I love you.
Oh, she's got me in the feels now. Oh, fighting back a lump in my throat. Love you too, but I will make an emphasis of see you soon.
When you return. Cool. And you walk out. The only person that's there waiting for you is Annabelle. Carry on.
This was definitely one of these characters is dead, but doesn't know it yet speech.
Oh, yeah. If this was Game of Thrones, mate, she'd be dead by now.
Yes.
Annabelle's the only one waiting for you in the throne room. It's time then.
It is.
Oh, come here, boys. And she pulls you all in, Bothrid included, just all four of you. And there's sort of just this big, awkward hug, because she's smaller than most of you here, and just sort of pulls you in.
It's a Goliath wearing armour. Nothing like this is going well.
Yeah, it's comfy.
I'm assuming Dargon just sort of creeps around the whole group and just like, oh, hug.
Proper Hagrid hug.
Yeah. Oh, rest in peace.
Don't
Rest
do
in peace.
that. Don't do that. But then she stands up and she sort of wipes her eyes. Go kick his ass.
Well, Anders. Oh no, him. And oh yeah, that one. Righto. Keep it, up. The buildings and all that lot while we're away. No parties.
There was one
Just
thing.
talking.
No parties.
And she reaches into a small bag and pulls out a chalice. Figured one of you might need this. She's just going to throw it.
Is it a cup of immortality?
Bothrid catches it places it in his bag. As you're met outside, as you leave the throne room, you're met outside by Theogodin, who is there, and you can see he himself, his cloak has changed slightly. There's some subtle plating, just almost like, it seems almost like plastic, but you realise it's just leather bound together and shone in ways that it gives him just slight protection. And he's there with that blue-bladed dagger, just sort of spinning it around. Oh, fucking hell, I thought you'd never get up. Shall we go?
Yes.
That's the Theo I remember. As I get a flashback to my youth.
You wander over to where that shopping centre come wizard stronghold is now, and the city is pretty dead. It's pretty empty. You enter and you walk up the stairs, and there at the top of the stairs is a familiar figure in cream robes, staff and book, and a mane of fur. As Ethereal turns and looks at you all. Well, I thought it only fitting that I send you on your way.
Ethereal. Good to see you.
Likewise.
I take it you won't be missing the festivities down south in a few days' time?
Absolutely not.
Give 'em hell.
To be fair, Nyla knows
I
your
will
great
send them.
gratitude for the help you have given me recently. Long may it continue.
Let's dispense with the pleasantries, boys. I have been less than welcoming to the majority of those here, and I apologize for that, but I know this is going to be one hell of a fight.
I tell you what, I've only just got used to this pleasantries business, and every time I'm trying to be pleasant, everyone says, don't worry about the pleasantries. It's like, fucking hell, it took me years to learn them, and now nobody's bothered.
Such is the life of a king, and enjoy it.
True.
If you are ready, the circle is prepared.
Send us on our way.
And with that, just opens his book, slams his staff into the ground, and begins to speak arcane words as he holds his hand in the air, and blue lights just sort of shine out of his hand, and the platform, if you like, that's been set up for teleportation spells just lights up with this bluish light. And you all step in, and in that moment, he's just going to be there, and he'll do this sort of bow as darkness takes you. And you appear in the middle of Telmer. A dead village. An empty village, a destroyed village. Kirik, in this moment, you've arrived. It is a new day. What are you doing?
I've got a question because I just read a line of the spell. When Theogodin came back, Kirik cast Eyes of the Grave. What did he see? Theogodin.
He saw a man, but there was something off about Theogodin.
Okay, I won't risk it then.
If it's what I think you're thinking of, don't worry about it too much.
Okay. So you won't classify as undead?
Not really, no.
Cool.
Doesn't fall in that strict line of I'm undead.
If If Turn Undead doesn't work on it...
I test it.
Theogon's just there as you look at him
guess-
like, what?
I guess Kirik would like to just walk to the place where we're actually gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever that might be.
So it probably takes you about 20 minutes, half an hour to walk outside of Telmer and find a suitable spot to do this.
Whilst walking then, I'll turn to the group and say, I'm sure you've noticed in quite a few of our battles, I may have utilised the abilities that was given to me by that undead dragon, or its lackeys. But you know what? I think it's time I let it go. I want to go and I want to use and be me clear into this fight. Dargon pulls out a clear potion that's got some dark red flecks in it. It looks like clotted blood.
What the fuck's going on? What's happening? It's like a Revelation episode.
Yes.
Don't know about you guys, but I'm going in as me and me only. And chug the bottle.
You're only doing this because everybody we fight now does fire damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, totally the only reason.
Don't spoil the moment. Right, as this happens, Dog, and you just sort of drink, and there's a moment where you just sort of... Your breath catches. You fall to your knees and your skin burns. And there are ripples across your skin as fur waves. Claws grow, a snout sort of grows and shrinks. And I need a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh boy. Oh. 29. Don't know
Your
whether that
body
was
goes
good or
through these
not.
waves of transformation, Goliath, bear Goliath, hybrid Goliath, and you fall from your knees to your stomach and begin to just claw at the very earth. Everything subsides. The pain is gone. And there's a part of you that no longer feels that innate need for solitude.
I'll stand up. Ah, you know what? I might not have taken that if anyone had told me what was going to happen. Anyway.
So, no longer cursed and able to summon swords again. Just like when I met you first.
You know, now you mention it, I hadn't thought of that. I like that. Yeah.
Well, let's hope I don't go full circle and become the person you first met. That's not going to help anyone.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very good now, actually.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
Although one of my first ports of call after we defeat Asmodeus will definitely be the treasury at Deluin, because I have coins to count. So he's not fully gone.
That is definitely going to be
at this point,
a coin angel.
Kirik.
At this point, when we arrive at the place, I'm going to grab a little pouch that I've been holding on to for a while now. I think I'm holding on to this pouch for about at least 90 sessions. Because I've never cast the spell, but I always had it just in case. And it's a pouch with about 1,000 gold pieces worth of herbs, incense, and spices. And I'm going to spend 24 hours casting the spell Hallow.
Wow. Amazing.
5th level. And I will, once it's done, I will nominate elementals and undead as being the individuals that can't enter the area and that can't charm, frighten, or possess creatures within the area.
Does that also cover fiends? Can it?
It can, but I want Asmodeus to get in.
Correct. I see.
It also gets Celestials, and I'm also keeping that out. It also covers Fae, but I'm also keeping that out. So,
None of
I
us
feel like
can walk
throughout
in.
this whole episode, Kirik's been, or Samal's just been going, nope, nope,
Yeah.
nope.
Episode? It's been my fucking week. What do you mean? My week's been looking at my spell, being like, well, what can I do?
Cool. So,
If you cast the whole thing at anyone, basically, Fresh Fish Man is the only person who can get in, and that's it. Right?
And
You know, that's made. Oh, go you first, Karen.
the spell has a secondary effect, which I can choose, and I'll choose fiends and celestials for this, and I will apply the energy vulnerability, which allows me to say that affected creatures in the area have vulnerability to one damage type of your choice, and I will choose radiant.
Fucking hell.
Game on.
so
That's
whilst,
my first day.
whilst Ander and Dargon, you spend the day just generally preparing the area, not making it look too obvious, but moving anything that would be a hazard or and making sure you set up somewhere where you can have a sturdy enough camp and Bothrid will help. Kirik is pretty much sat in the centre of this area for the whole day, and you sleep at the same time as well and take shifts to watch over him while he casts this spell. And as he chants and says various things, there's almost like just pulses of energy that come out periodically. And the ground in the morning, when you all wake again and Kirik just sort of slumps over, there is just almost this sort of slight tremor to the ground. And Kirik just... You will take a point of exhaustion, sir.
I go to sleep after that. Like, there's no way.
Okay, so
No
to
way.
clarify, do we still have a day? So after you've done that 24 hours, you now have a day to sleep.
2. We still have another long rest after this.
Okay. So you'll be alright on that one.
So we will say, in which case, Kirik, you would probably spend the next day just resting and sleeping. And we have an evening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's up to you. You can either spend the day resting, or you can wait till the following evening.
Ooh. I guess I could wait. And, for the sake of brevity, do the other shit I want to do.
Okay.
I would probably
So
work
if you
with
want to wait-
Ander. Go on.
No, you crack on.
I was going to say, I would work with Ander to try and give him an hopefully not obvious place for him to be able to hide behind. He does well from just being able to hide behind and shoot. So we'd probably just try and make a couple of areas where he could do that in sort of a range
That's a
where we
good call.
expect.
Okay, so I will say then, in that moment where you spend, or so the day and maybe a bit where you prepare, the area. There are some natural rock formations outside Telmer. There is Telmer itself, the outskirts of Telmer, abandoned farm buildings and the like. But you take some time to set up almost like firing positions for Ander, where he's got enough cover, but can also still fire and shoot and do what he needs to out of. And I'll say you set up 3 of those positions. Over the next couple of days,
just because,
what other preparations
just
do
because
we
I'm
want
a
to do?
big,
Carry on, Kirik, sorry.
Just because I'm a bit confused at the time, I'll just say there's 3 spells I want to cast, which are which last for 24 hours. So when we enter the 24-hour period, when we enter the 24-hour period, I will cast those spells. So anything else in between is just time that is spent. Because Hallow just
I will say
infinite time. So
Hallow lasts for... So the moment you land, the morning you land, you cast Hallow. You sleep. The next day you spend as a group preparing and setting the area and sharpening blades, polishing armor, making sure everything is there, practicing with weapons and spells, or communing with deities to select spells. And then we approach the final evening, if you like. Now, Kirik, I don't know how long it takes to cast these spells, but I'm assuming the evening will lead up to the evening.
I need 2.5 hours to cast all.
Okay. So you spend 2.5 hours as you leading up to sort of the time where you, roughly around you, sort of Bothrid's there getting ready to, or he's cooking a meal, and he's caught various bits of wildlife that he's preparing, and you sort of settle down ready to cast your final spells. What are you casting in this moment?
So, ritual casting Forbiddance in the space of, I can go up to 40,000 square feet. I'll just say whatever the map that we get when combat starts, it's that area. Done. To cast Forbiddance, which means the creatures can't teleport into the area or use portals to enter it, and it prevents creatures from accessing areas by way of Astral Plane, Ethereal Plane, Feywild, Shadowfell, or the Plane Shift spell. In addition, the spell damages types of creatures that you choose when you cast. I'm going to choose Celestials and Fiends, because I don't know what he is, so he's going to get both. And when a chosen creature enters the spell area for the first time on the turn or starts its turn there, the creature takes 5d10 radiant damage.
And your final spell, sir?
Final 2, actually. Still have 2.
Final 2?
The first one... Yeah, the first one is one that Kirik hasn't cast yet. He's been holding on to, and is actually going to take a moment because it's quite a serious moment for him. And I'm going to grab my reliquary that I have, and I will be chanting some incantations for an hour, and as I am chanting that, the reliquary is going to become larger and larger and larger, eventually gaining windows, a roof, some columns, and a doorway as I cast Temple of the Gods. And the temple has the visage of, so the rooftop ceiling is 2 raven wings spread out, and at the front there's a figure of the Raven Queen in the facade. And as we enter, it looks quite similar to the temple in Esmir. However, there are there are two doors inside the temple that lead to two other rooms. One of them has got Dagon written on it. The other one has got Bothrid written on it. Yeah, and I'll say to everyone, while we're here, it's quite difficult for, well, creatures like Asmodeus to come in. So this lasts for a while. We can sleep in here. It's warm. It's a good night of respite.
Any more spells, sir? One more?
Oh yeah, I am taking out that gem encrusted bowl that I have, and we're gonna have a final hero's feast.
Boom! Fucking
I'm
right.
going to say in that moment, as Kirik takes out the gem encrusted chalice, Bothrid is also going to do the same, and the joint efforts of Kirik and Bothrid form this table in the middle of the temple. Just grows out. Enough for 5 people. And Theo sort of looks. Oh, I'm welcome then.
Of course. Yes.
And you all sit and partake of a hero's feast. Which, just for everybody on stream, Kirik, can you just remind people of the effects that gives?
And the players.
It's
Okay. and under a Dagon, sorry. Because I've got it in front of me.
It's a bunch of stuff. Hang on. Heroes feast.
Immune to
So,
frightened.
yes. You're cured of all diseases and poisons. You are immune to poison, being frightened. All wisdom saving throws will be made with advantage. And your maximum HP has just gone up by 9. Because that's what I rolled.
9. Does that stack with aid or not?
That's match.
Oh,
We haven't done
it
aid, by the way,
does.
but
We haven't done aid yet.
But it-
because we
but
haven't
it-
woken up yet.
yeah. But
It does
Because it's
stack.
a
It stacks
max
with age,
HP, because it's a max HP modifier. It stacks because it's not a temp
not
HP
temp
thing.
stuff. Yeah. So, just out of interest, is Kirik planning an aid? Because Dagon can do an aid, but it's not that good.
There's a question from the chat. More importantly, how does it look like when you cast the spell, Kirik?
It's slightly different this time because it's inside the Temple of the Gods, and that's just pretty much Kirik pulling the Raven Queen into the material plane. And it's almost like the grounds of the temple are like rising up and forming the table, and like from this dark, almost obsidian-like table, there's actually going to be, because of the influence of Bothrid, vines that start crawling around, and from those vines, the fruit is going to grow really quickly. The meat is going to start to form, almost like first you see the carcasses of the creatures, and then eventually it's almost like time is being pulled back, because that will be the influence of the Wild Mother, and yeah, that's what it looks like.
Nailed it.
Also, the
Until
influence of the dunamantic abilities of Kirik as well.
It's very true.
That's very cool.
So in that moment, as you all partake of the hero's feast, you have whatever conversations you're going to have, and you partake. And eventually, although I don't think it takes too long while you eat, there is a tense silence around the table. In this moment, then, what do you wish to say to each other?
There's two things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to present Theo Godin with a brooch of my family crest, so we can come fully circle where I used to wear your mark. Now you go into battle representing the Raven Queen and the Splinterthorn family as a sort of full redemption arc. So he's got that. And then after we have tea, our dinner, I want to ask Kirik, because underneath, Andrew is absolutely shitting his pants, right? But he's obviously trying not to let anybody know that. But he's going to ask Kirik if he can pray with him to the Raven Queen afterwards, because he said he wanted to learn more about her. So there's no time like the present if you're about to die. So I'm supposed to start praying to the Raven Queen.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that in a minute then. As Theo Godin takes the pin, the brooch. Well, it's not often you get jewellery from royalty. And he'll take it inside his cloak and just sort of pins it on. Closes it round. Thank you, Rondo. Dargon, is there anything you wish to do in this moment or say?
You know, we spoke about this recently. I spoke about it recently when we got back to Esamir, not that long ago. No matter which way this goes, I'll be very proud to have fought with you. And I will have fought to a glorious end, if it is to be my end. But I hope we make it through. If you do, and I don't shed a tear for me. I've been very happy to get here with you, with all of you.
I know you want to meet your family on the other side, Dargon, and no one deserves that more than you, but your family on this side need you for a little bit longer, so don't plan on dying too. I know you need a glorious Goliath death, but not quite yet for me. Thank you.
Like I said, there are two ways in which Goliaths are happy to meet their end. One, when they've grown old, and they will continue to look after their family. The other is glorious in battle. I intend it to be the first, to grow old, and when I can no longer help, do my thing. I'm just saying, if what we don't want to happen happens, don't feel sorry. But yeah, my family sitting round this table right now, I want to live for them. Because whenever I die, I'll meet my family. They're waiting for me.
And if you
There's no rush.
and if you die, Dargon, I think you'll be introducing us to them as well, because we'll be right there with you.
Quite possibly. I say,
Speak for yourself. I'm gonna live
cheers.
forever.
Quite right, Bothrid.
Yeah, you
Quite
are.
right.
He'll be reincarnated as a herb.
Well, we all will.
Bothrid, in that moment, even though he makes the joke, is going to take a big sip of whatever ale, almost fey-like ale that's on the table, and place it down. We met a long time ago, you lot. And I know you came later on, Kirik, but despite being captured and freed. Never been part of a stronger warband. Never been part of such a strong family. I love you boys. Don't you dare die before me.
You'll definitely be first, Bufford.
You'll be by my side.
That's been wanting to kill you off for about 100 episodes.
No, I fucking love Bothrid. Bothrid's part of me.
Ananda, you're gonna stay.
We are the Wardens.
We are the Wardens.
Long live the king.
Yeah.
Longer than tomorrow, at least.
Well, okay, you've killed that one, Bothrid. Yeah.
Theo, however, will raise a glass and just sort of... Long live the king.
Boom! Somebody gets it.
Kirik.
Me.
Anything else from yourself?
Yeah, you've not really done much.
Yeah, no.
Pull your weight, Kirik. Sorry, can I just say that everything that you just did is kind of like Kirik going to the Raven Queen, hold my beer, and also I just kind of feel like after he's done that, he just rolls up his sleeves and is like, "Where is this god?"
I love that. Kirik has made all the preparation, and all I'm going to do is rock up and go, stabby, stabby, and hope for the best.
For an island.
Yeah, you know, when clerics get to a certain level, they become Bruce Wayne, which is with prep time, they can literally do anything.
Yes. Yes. It is now.
I have prep. I've got prep. Oh, good. Yeah. Amazing.
Is there anything you wish to say to your brothers in arms?
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Ever since I got the calling from her, I've been, well, I think you know, fascinated with what lies beyond death. I think if we don't fear dying, we fear that there isn't anything on the other side, but we all know that there is something on the other side. And knowledge of that relieves the pain. So I've always been interested in that. But those of you sat around this table, you make me fascinated about life. It's an island.
Island.
And I've just got Phenylin incessantly ringing in my fucking head.
Fucking beat me to it.
Yes!
In your brain, and there is just a whispered Phenylin, my king. To the bitter end.
To forge a new beginning, you mean?
Always. And in this moment, as you finish your feasts, you all then retreat to your rooms, your bedrolls, your places of rest. And sleep. And as you sleep, the memories roll in. Green flower. Down a well. With a bright flash of purple. As a half-orc appears before you. Moonbright, fighting once again as a champion, and feeling that power of Palor ripple through you. A meeting with a dryad. Other trips to the Feywild. 7 mirrors. A lion statue. Twice round and twice again.
I'll punch that statue in the head if you find it again.
A travelling band of tabaxi. A lighthouse. Green flower. And a lone figure stood against a horde of zombies.
Still
A
the
white
cause
dragon
moment.
rising from the earth and falling again to a band of heroes. And 4 locations hidden amongst Nylin. 4 locations with distinct pieces of parchment, whether it be in a tomb or a torture chamber or various other locations. And as you all bed down, single voice, I am so very proud of you boys. Fight on. And fight hard. And you wake the next morning to a roiling sound. As you see on the very edge of Telma, on the very edge of the area that Kirik has cast his spell, as a fiery portal appears. And you all step forth, prepared, or as much prepared as you can be, as out of a fiery portal, a figure bends and steps forth, no longer adorned in the red robes that you've seen him in before, but black and red leather boots, black leather trousers, a coat or jacket of black and red leather, bright red skin, these illuminated red eyes, these curled horns, and a staff, metallic staff that ends in this perfect sphere of ruby red. As Asmodeus just steps forward. Well, and 3 days it has been. And now it is time. Come forth, Lord of Vesemir. Servant of that raven bitch, Golden Champion, and Lord of the Green. And do bring that bastard offspring of mine. And that's where we're going to end tonight.
Panic.
What I feel like that recap of the memories was more. I feel like that was Matt reading our obituary.
I was going to say, can
Did you
we?
get that sort of vibe?
We're just going to bamf out somewhere else. Yeah, sure.
Is it too late to negotiate?
If you
Well, we'll see you next week.
word of
So
a
there you
call.
go. What an
That's
episode.
fucking like it.
Hopefully we've built enough tension there, and thank you all for being amazing with your RP as always. That has been the perfect setup episode, ready for next week into what is inevitably going to be a fight, because let's be fair, if Kirik's casted that many fucking spells, yeah, we're all going to kick some shit off. So be prepared with your initiative rolls. Join us next week, folks. It's going to be a fucking doozy. I'm going to be a mess from the very start. It's been hard enough tonight not keeping tears back. So, well done, folks. I am so fucking hyped for episode 112. This is going to be awesome. Please spread the word, folks. This is going to be one not to miss. If anybody has ever interacted with Malt and Magic in any way, shape or form, next week is the one to definitely join us for. Let's go. Fight a god. Thank you to all the tools we've used. Thank you to everybody that supported this stream thus far. We will see you next week. Stay safe. We love you all. Until next time. See you then.